I made quite an amazing discovery last night, totally by accident, on how to relocate the point of balance of any sword closer to your crossguard. You don't change the sword, you don't alter the sword in any way whatsoever. Let me show you this accident just to get your imagination rolling, and then I'll explain why a point of balance is important and what it is. And I'll show you, I bought something today and I tested it out and it works. And I don't see anything in the rules that says I can't do what I'm about to show you here today. Last night I had my hour-long sword workout. It was longsword mostly, a little bit of some saber and buckler. And I was sitting here and I was just looking at my buckler on the ground. And I was thinking, sometimes people will equip a buckler on one of their hands when they're swinging pole arms around and stuff. And I was like, I wonder what that even feels like if I could even hold a weapon with a buckler like mine that has this wooden handle that runs through my grip. So I just put it on. Same sword. I grabbed it down here and I did a couple swings. And for being very uncoordinated, I noticed that it swung so much better. Actually, as I just let go, I felt the point of balance change. So here's the whole theory behind it. This is my arming sword, my first arming sword. I actually hate it so bad. The point of balance is all the way up here. So a point of balance on a sword is where it balances like a seesaw, where it's kind of even on both sides. It is a lot easier to change the trajectory of an attack in a split second the closer it is to your hands. If you think about drilling a hole right here where the point of balance is and putting a screw through it and spinning it so it's equal on both sides, that is basically where the sword is going to want to turn. So the closer you have it to the crossguard or in your grip makes swing a sword feel so much nicer. As a matter of fact, I have 83 cents taped to the pommel just to try and make it a little bit nicer to swing, and it didn't work. I hate this sword. This sword that I have right here is very, very tip heavy. I bet it's somewhere up here. This sword is actually almost like swinging an axe. If you ever swung an axe, you know how hard it is to pull back. This sword right here is very tip heavy. So when I swing it, I actually feel the weight when I'm pulling it back. And if I'm going to swing here, and especially if I'm going to change sides from one side to the other, I actually can feel myself pulling the weight of this sword back to make the spin around here. And once it's moving, it wants to go. But the thing is, whenever I'm pulling back, or if I want to make a decision real quick, maybe to block and then swing, it's not the easiest sword in the world to control. So I got this sword out, my very tip-heavy sword. Got my buckler. As soon as I grip it, and I have to grip it, you have to grip it almost now this has become your pommel. As soon as I grip it, the point of balance changes, and now I can feel it already. It's already down farther here, so whenever I swing, it's not tip heavy at all. But as soon as I let go, it drops. See? It's not just I'm letting go with a bare hand, I let go. I don't know if that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? But you can see that the weight of this buckler moved the point of balance closer to the grip. So what I did was, I actually just went out and I bought these, this is a 2.5 pound wrist weight, right? So if I would happen to put this on my gauntlet, I tried to put it on the knuckle, but it actually made it hard to hold the sword. But you're going to get the idea here. This is adding 2.5 pounds to my gauntlet, right? So now when I have this sword, as soon as I grip it and I'm holding it, the point of balance is already changed. Now you got to think this isn't exact because I actually have it on my arm, but it feels more like it's down here now instead of all the way up here. So check this out. Now that I have a 2.5 pound weight on here, the point of balance, as soon as I let go, I just felt it shift again. As long as you're squeezing here, this is now part of your sword. Adding weight to my actual gauntlet changes the point of balance. Now, is there anything that says I can't have this on? I mean, there is. I couldn't have it on here. You're not allowed to have modern looking gear, right? So I didn't try this yet, but we're going to put this thing, I thought it had a thumb hole. It does. So we're actually going to see if I can wear it we'll see if I can wear it inside my metal gauntlet. As long as it's hidden, there's nothing that says I can't wear it. My van brace would go around that. Now, when I always practice with swords, I like to usually use my steel gaunts because that way I'm used to the weight and stuff like that. When I'm going from practice to actual fighting, that I'm used to the movement of my hands and knees are not exactly the same as bare hands. But I can already feel like that there's a little bit of weight on here, right? Here's my actual competition longsword right here with the gauntlets that I have on. I know what this feels like from swinging it for years. So just right now, this is the first try with the 2.5 pound wrist weight with my Gritter gauntlets. And we're going to see how it feels. It feels a lot better. The point of balance on this actually isn't that bad, but I can actually tell now when I'm actually pulling back, when I want to do those little hits down here to the side, it's so much easier to pull it back because I have this weight here. I'm gripping though, and I'm pushing and pulling. This is that tip heavy sword, remember? I'm gripping it hard with my left hand. I let go. So much heavier. Gripping, letting go. So yeah, I think the whole theory behind this is adding some mass in one way or another. It doesn't matter as long as you have a solid connection gripping your pommel. It's basically going to change the point of balance on your sword. You're extending the weight of your pommel, increasing the weight of your pommel with the wrist weight. What do you think? Is it something worthwhile? Anybody out here want to give it a shot if you got a sword that sucks and you hate it? I do. Remember this one right here? This is that sword that I hate. I'm swinging left-handed, so don't laugh. That doesn't feel too bad. Compared to without the weight. I notice a little bit of a difference, but I really notice a difference in my long swords. So I think that I might experiment with this a little bit. Like, I wonder if I could everyone's going like getting titanium gauntlets so they're really light. What if I got a gauntlet that was heavier, right? I mean, what's the max weight we can have on a gauntlet? I don't know. Is there one? Can I have like a 10-pound gauntlet for my pommel hand? Anyway, I thought it was interesting. Totally accidental discovery. It actually seems to be legit. You can change the point of balance of your sword without actually altering your sword. All you need is a little bit of weight in the hand that you're gripping with. All right, everybody. Take care. Catch you in another video.